All right, folks, let's jump back at it. Page 4 will probably be the quickest one yet. Just going to do 3 quick trig identities and verify that these identities are true. If not, we'll note that. All right, so first one here. Left-hand side to me is the one that I'm going to work on. They're really, I can't say one is more difficult than the other, but I try to one of the things I personally like to do is get rid of anything with cotangent or tangent as soon as I can. So let's try this. By the way, you'll notice that the input to these functions here is no longer theta, it's now x. That's fine. That just means we're defining that angle on the unit circle as an x value. Don't confuse that with the x coordinate. Okay, so I have cotangent times tangent. And let's just write each of these as their quotient identities. Cotangent is the cosine over the sine, and the tangent is the sine over the cosine. So I'm gonna start rearranging things here. I know where I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get this. Folks, you deserve better than that. That was not. This is what I'm trying to get to. So I'm gonna move some of the stuff around in this big product. I'm gonna start by saying, let's just look at sine x over sine x. And let's multiply by 1 over cosine of x, and then cosine of x over 1. And I want to make sure that I've got everything that I had from the prior step. So I had a sine in the numerator and the denominator, and I got those here. I had a cosine in the denominator, got it. The cosine in the numerator, and I got it. Okay, so let's take a look at what happens. Sine x over sine x, that's just plain old 1. 1 over cosine x, that's secant of x. So this thing simplifies to secant of x times cosine of x. And that's what we were trying to get. So this is now verified. Folks, I want to make a couple quick comments here. Don't do that. When you're working with trig, please don't do this. Don't write this. That's the word sin, okay? It is a function. It has to have an input, okay? So do not write just plain old sin. That's bad. Write sine of x. Also, don't do, personally, this one is not as bad. I don't like to do that. I like to make sure that I call out what the input is with the parentheses, but I will tell you that, you will see it written like that, and that you'll see it in textbooks, you'll see it a lot of places, and that's okay. I just will tell you that my preference is that you do this one. That's because I'm trying to be as clear as possible. I don't want any ambiguity in my work, so I make sure I tell you what the function is and what the input is. All right, let's move on to the next trig identity. Okay, this one looks kind of crazy. Take a look here. We got, I'm going to probably work on the left-hand side because it looks like there's a lot more going on over there. So I have 1 minus sine theta, 1 plus sine theta, and I got to multiply those out. So let's go ahead and just rewrite it. Notice I'm back to theta here as the input variable. Don't let that alarm you. Okay, so make a couple notes down here. I know that if I have anything of the form a minus b times a plus b, that becomes a squared minus b squared. And this is one of the worst lowercase a's. That looks like a 9, not an a. You deserve better than that. Let's fix that. A squared minus b squared. There we go. Okay, so 1 minus sine theta times 1 plus sine theta will become 1 squared minus sine squared theta. Okay, well, I'm not sure if this one is as obvious to you, but 1 minus sine squared theta, that just equals cosine squared of theta. And you might be like, what? Where the heck did that come from? Well, remember, the Pythagorean trig identity says sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. So if I subtract sine squared theta from both sides, I get cosine squared equals 1 minus sine squared. So that's where that piece comes from. And last but not least, cosine squared, well, cosine is the reciprocal of secant. So let me state that a little different. Secant of theta is equal to 1 over cosine of theta. That means that cosine of theta is equal to 1 over secant of theta. Now, if I go back and square all of these things, I have cosine squared theta equals 1 over secant squared theta. And last but not least, secant squared theta is equal to 1 plus tan squared theta from that other Pythagorean trig identity that we just learned. So boom. This bad boy is verified. Okay, one more for you. We have secant squared minus cosecant squared equals tan squared minus cotan squared. So let's take a look. I see a bunch of squared things that are in Pythagorean trig identities. So let's see if there's anything we can do with that. I'm just going to arbitrarily pick the left-hand side to work on. Boom. Secant squared of x minus cosecant squared of x. So let's see what I can get from the Pythagorean trig identities. Secant squared is equal to 1 plus tan squared. And cosecant squared is equal to 1 plus cotangent squared. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to distribute the negative and simplify. I'm going to have 1 plus tan squared minus 1 minus cotan squared. So the ones will cancel, and I'm left with tan squared of x minus cotan squared of x. And folks, you guessed it. That bad boy's verified. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it was a long video, but these were some very important ideas we had to cover and solidify before we finish our trig unit.